Yo, it's Arda. You know what time it is. I'm coming at you with a tier list. Normally, I do my tier lists on Twitch and then post them on Twitter, but I'm really liking the Mega Strikers, and I've been thinking about doing more YouTube content, and I figured this is one way to do it. I did make it the Mega Strikers tier list on Twitter, but I mean, on my stream, and I posted on Twitter. But I do think my opinions have changed a little bit then. Probably not by much, but I do want to post it on YouTube as well, and I also want to go over why my list is the way it is. So that's the reason why I'm doing this tier list right now. So I'm probably not gonna go through all of it in order. However, first thing first, I do want to move Atlas in B because I do think that he's the worst character in the game. I may move more characters in B, right? But most of the characters are gonna go with A with a couple of assassins in S. Um, so why is Atlas in B? He's such a cool character, right? Um, let's go over that real quick. Let me. Ooh, okay. Um, when it comes to Atlas, as you can see, he's a difficulty 2. Honestly, I think he's a difficulty 3. Because I do think controlling your secondary is create a ring of light, right? That has a little bit of startup time. It doesn't say here, but it does have like a startup time where if you use it wrong, you will not go back. His primary use is a goalie, but Dubu and Asher kind of does that job better. Um, his Asher possession is really good, all things considered. It's a quick seal that grows and like it spans out, goes away immediately, right? But it's good to use when there's people threatening to score in front of your face. You can strike, they strike back. Your strike is still on cooldown. You use after protection. Um, it's still a really good ability, but like that type of intense situation, you kind of have to practice. Um, and sadly, there is no way to practice. I think, yeah. The only way to practice, I think, is to go invite only and invite your friends. Um, and his ult, um, it's very situational. It is very situational. It's not. It has a range to it, so if you want to heal them, you have to walk up, and if the puck goes past you, then you're screwed. But it's very situational. It's only situational when you have a lot of when the enemy has a lot of aggro-based characters. That's when it's really good. And we'll talk about those aggro-based characters when we get to them, because there is a couple of them, but it's still not enough to make Atlas look like a very worthy pick over Dubu or Asher or even Luna in some cases as goalie. Um, this is why I placed them in B. Oh, also, him being the 4 is also pretty good, but again, it's not as good as like Asher or Dubu. I think those characters are really why Atlas is invalid. So we're gonna put him in B. Now, the vice versa effect is Kai, who I think is S characters. It's an S tier character. Because when Atlas has like really good abilities in a couple of situations, um, he still just loses a lot. Like whenever you have an Atlas on your team, you're probably gonna lose. Where in Kai's case, whenever you have a Kai on your team, you probably just won that game. Like, I mean, if you play this game, how many times have you had a Kai on your team, or they didn't have a better Kai on the enemy team, and you just won the game? Like, they didn't have a Kai, or your Kai was better, and you just won the game. Like, I feel like I won more games with Kai, like on my team, than any other character. And I don't really know why that is. Now, I honestly think what makes him crazy is his movement ability just being movement speed. The like there's a couple of characters that have movement speed like that. Era has Flutterfly. Um, Drakkar has Juno. I think that's the only character that does have haste, like just innately. Um, but his primary just fires explosive projectiles, and his ult is just a skill shot, like a legal as a skill shot. I don't know what it is about this character. I really think it's blazing pace that puts him over the edge over a lot of characters, because where most characters have a movement speed, maybe the movement speed with a little bit of startup to it, or like a small dash, you know what I'm saying? Uh, or like a hop, blink. He has movement speed, so he just kind of clears that. The only character that I think can keep up with him is Luna, but that's because Luna is just like a straight shot. She flies off, and then it's on cooldown for like such a long time where you can just. It's 4 seconds, so this is like a 10-second cooldown. Uh, beats most other fucking abilities. Uh, this is 12, 15, 11, 14, like 18. You get the point, right? He just kind of outspeeds everybody if he gets control of the puck. So what he would do is, if he's forward, he would just hit the puck, run with the puck because of blazing pace, and your other teammates are going to be behind him just because of how fast he is, leaving the goalie to him by himself, and he has multiple abilities to stop the goalie strike from actually affecting the puck, so he can just knock it in himself. Like, I think that's the play with Kai, and because of that, he's very easy to control. He's very easy to score with, and I think that's why he wins a lot, which is why I'm putting him in S. Uh, Next character I want to talk about is Asher. Asher, because I also think that she's an S tier character. Um, the reason why I think this, I'm not going to go on the longest tangent of Kai, but simply put, she is a good goalie. I don't think she's as good as Dubu in regards to goalie, but she still, I think, is like the second best goalie. Also, she's such an aggressive character. A lot of characters can just not play the game, and we're going to talk about those characters next, actually, because Asher kind of opens the door for that conversation. But she's a character that does not have to play the game. What do I mean by that? A character that doesn't have to play the game is a character that doesn't have to interact with the puck to actually cause like how do I say this? She doesn't have to interact with the puck in order to win. That's the best way to put it. So I'm gonna say them characters like Asher, X, Drakkar, and Juliet are characters that do not have to interact with the puck and still win. Why is that? Their kit allows them to basically PvP. they're playing team deathmatch. You know, these four are playing team deathmatch. Everybody else is playing the Mega Strikers, and these four are playing Call of Duty. You know, they're playing Rumble Fighter. They don't have to. They can just focus on knocking people out or bullying the goalie, um, then they actually have to play the game. A lot of their wins comes from not interacting with the puck itself, but just knocking people off, right? Azure has an ability that is like a shotgun blast that puts up a shield for her. I think that that is ridiculous. I don't think that it should have a freaking shield, but it does. And so what she can do is she can put up, she can use the shotgun blast on their goalie, knock them towards the outside arena, like the blast zone on the goalie side, and just push them in with her shield on her primary. And if that isn't enough, they can also just ult, and they can't do anything about that. They just have to die. If you're the goalie and you're near like the blast zone on the goalie side, and you get hit by pass splitter, you might as well just start counting your cooldown, your death timer. Um, and so you can do that to everybody too, not just the goalie. But like that's just how a lot of actors play because they can get away with it. If they have another character on their team, or if their goalie's competent enough, they can just bully without having to worry about getting scored on. Now, obviously, this comes with downside. If you don't have a competent enough goalie and your opponent is getting overwhelmed, then I mean, and your teammates getting overwhelmed, then yeah, that is a detriment to the team not playing the game. But a lot of the times, it does not matter. And I feel like because Azure isn't the best bully, but she's also a better goalie than everybody that is a bully. And because of her versatility in that regards, I'm moved her to S. Um, Now, next character I will say that is a S tier character. Well, not S, but very close. Maybe S tier. We have to see. But that would be Drakkar. Now, Drakkar is a very weird character. I haven't played Drakkar at all. Um, and I also haven't interacted with a lot of Drakkars too. But I feel like this character is super good. Uh, he has a diva. I think him, and Era are the only two characters with divas right now. And his divas is really strong. So basically, he launched a sticky bomb, and it slows wherever it hits. So it slows all enemies, including the puck, and it can really cause you to lose the puck game, the neutral game, especially if you do not close after the puck. Um, a lock and load, I think, is a crazy ability. There's a perk in this game that allows you to have 3 charges at max level. So you could like an extra charge of your ability, right, or your primary ability. So like after possession would be 2 charges, right? But has a higher cooldown. For Drakkar is 3, and for some reason, this ability does so much damage. Not so much knockback. I feel like the knockback on this ability is way too strong. Playing knockback 250 is crazy. IMO. Like it's so strong, and because unlike other characters that have that stronger knockback, like let's say Estelle, right? At least piercing side is only 1 time. You get hit with it once, it's whatever. You get hit with this 2 or 3 times, and you're knocked out. Like at the beginning of the game, what I would see most Drakkars do is if the puck is at the top side or at the bottom side, they won't go for the puck. They'll just wait for somebody to get near the puck to hit it, and then just shotgun blast them off. And most of the time, it will work because the knockback on this is still the same even without Saga. I think he's a really good aggressive character. And offers more versatility to the other 2 bully characters. And by the way, I do think the bully characters are like the king of like A tier, so they're going to be like the next characters that I talk about. Also, the visibility is kind of crazy. That's all I would say about that. Because you like where did he go? And then next thing you know, he hits the puck away from you and then he scores. You know, I think it's such a crazy ability. Um, so for that, he's going to A. Next, I say X. And you know what? I'll put Juliet here as well. Oh, excuse me. I'll put Juliet here as well. Now I do think that these three are interchangeable in A tier. They can go either way. Um, but for now, I'm going to have them like this. Now, I may like this, and I may move Drakkar to S or any of them to S. It just kind of depends how I feel at the end of this. Let me take a sip of water. Now, X is the premier bully character. Out of all the characters that don't have to play the game, okay, X is the worst. Now, what does X do? Well, X, all of his abilities are for fighting. Bull Rush has a brief delay, so it's not really good for hitting the puck. Boat Rigger also has a brief delay, and it's not really good at hitting the puck. And S Maximus literally turn your strikes that can only hit the core or the puck into working against enemies, like actual players. This character is not meant to interact with the game. The character is literally playing Rumble Fighter. This is a brawlhalla-ass character. You know what I'm saying? This character is playing Smash. He's not here. What the fuck is a Mega Strikers? What is that? I'm just here to fight. Now, obviously, this comes at the biggest downside of all the bully characters because, again, you're not going to be focusing on the puck at all. Matter of fact, if I get upset when I have an S in my team and they're not focused on knocking people out. Unless their abilities are on cooldown. Just because that's just how much of a bully character this character is meant to be played at. So with that being said, now the reason why these characters work so well, right, is because everybody else don't really have a way to deal with these characters. What do I mean by that? Luna, a long range character we'll get to, another long range character we'll get to, long range character we'll get to, a long range character we'll get to, Dubu. All these characters get, all of these characters get bullied for the most part. They have tools to stop them. But a lot of the times it's not enough. Especially for a couple of characters that we'll get to, and it's very upsetting. Because I do play those characters. So, Juliet, might as well talk about her. She's sort of the same deal with X, where her primary focus is to focus on the puck, but she's actually more of a melee version of Kai. Because what you want to do with her is play really aggro for the puck, and everybody that comes in your way, you knock out like X. You put on the perk that allows her to get movement speed when you hit the puck. So, you use that to get ahead of everybody else, and then when they hit when the goalie hit the puck back to you, you Flying Phoenix immediately. So you hit the puck right back and it goes through. Flame Fury is a good way to stop the puck as well as knocking people out. And fiery fist is just a move that you use to try to knock people out. Honestly, she's really strong. She's like the baby of Kai in that. So for that, she's still really good. I put her in the top three at A like I did, but yeah, she probably is the third one on the list. Now, here where it gets a lot of how do I put this? Controversial, I should say. Where do these characters go? Um, hmm, I think Dubu is nice because Dubu can be played as a good aggressive character, right? But what makes Dubu so strong is the fact, whoops, is the fact that he is the premier goalie. He has the ability to stop the puck. He has more and both of his primary that he can spam and his ultimate, his special, are are like premier walls. Like this character is just such a good goalie character. I don't think there's any other character in this game that can play goalie nearly as good as him. Asher is like half as good. All the other characters that you see play goalie, like you might see an Estelle goalie, Kai, Era, Luna, they all have nieces for why people pick them goalie, right? Uh, Era has Butterfly, so she can get to the puck fast. She also has Magical Milestone to push people away from her. Kai has Haste. Luna has Boost, but there's a perk in the game that allows you to teleport back to your initial like dash point. So what Lunas would do is they would run Boost, hit the puck, try to knock the puck in themselves, and then if it doesn't work, they just teleport back. All these characters have uses, right? But they're still pale in comparison to how good Dubu is as a goalie. If you are flex and you somehow get goalie, pick Dubu. If you're a goalie main, you probably main Dubu. You know, like that's just how that character operates. Um, and that's honestly all I have to say. Like he's just such a really good goalie. Now, next character is Estelle. Now, also I will say, next two characters is Estelle and Era. Dubu can go here or here, depending on how you feel. Here or here. But I will talk about Estelle and Era in the same breath, basically. Um, Now, Estelle is basically a ranged striker, like a ranged forward character. Um, Her abilities are fairly simple. Pierce a shot that goes through everything. Crystal Thorn, just ice projectiles, and a blink, right? Her abilities are fairly simple, but I think in the same vein as Kai, her simplicity is what also makes her really good. Um, Now the reason why this is that her how do I put this? Her abilities are really good at striking the puck back into the goal. If the goalie strikes the puck, Pierce Assad and Crystal Thorns are right there to knock the puck back. What a lot of SDL players would do is they'll strike, the goalie will strike back, but right when they strike, they immediately use Crystal Thorns or Pierce Assad. This will immediately hit the puck, back from the goalie right into the goal. And there's not much the goalie can do about that. She has like insane pressure from a distance that is kind of crazy. But she can also play forward. The only reason why she's not in S is because unlike Kai, she gets bullied by the other characters. And I think when people get better at the game, you probably see these bully characters go down, or at least these three. But characters like Era, Estelle, Juno, and Luna all get bullied by these four characters. Um, Kai doesn't because he can run away. But if you try to blink away, they have dashes to catch up to you. Your blink isn't that far. Um, Butterfly doesn't last as long to get away from them. Haste is just is good enough to get away from their dashes, so you don't have to worry about them. And same Blob Bounce has the same problem with Blink, and you can't boost if someone just runs your face, right? So even though I am talking about Estelle, I just wanted to get that out. Like, this is the reason why these three characters are above everybody else in A tier. But with that being said, I think Estelle has the most uses with her ability, even with people in front of her face, and I think that's the reason why she might actually be higher. Um, because a lot of other characters um doesn't have abilities to deal with like AoEs, right? So I think because of that, she either stays here or she goes to X. It's one or the other. It's a very high jump, I know, right? But depending on how to meditate, she would either stay here, move here, or go to S tier, right? Um, so I may even move her here, just for now. But Estelle is a very like volatile character, I feel. Um, Next character I'm gonna talk about is Era. Uh, Similar reasons, however, she doesn't have multiple abilities that go through the opponent or like big AoEs. Um, what she does have though, what ability is like really really strong. The ability is so strong, man. Is her special Magic Milestone. What you do is you cast it on top of the goalie. And if it hits them, they just get knocked out. If it don't, then whatever, right? But you cast this, you let it charge up all the way, and then it just knocks back the goalie. And if they're paying attention to the puck, then they're probably not paying attention to the milestone growing in front of their face, and then you just knock them out. She's very cheesy, right? She also has a very unique debuff that reduces their size, that reduces the enemy size, and that's really good. And also for the side is an AoE haste. This is also really a really good ability, right? Sadly though, I don't think she's very cheesy in that sense, but I don't think her abilities are good enough to put her in the Estelle tier of maybe she's S tier, maybe she's not. I do think she's firmly placed in the A tier, just because in order for that to happen, you do have to wait for this to go off, which I think is the longest turret ability in the game. So it at the end of the day, you can kind of just ignore this ability once you get good enough to have the awareness that you see it, you know. But like, it can still just catch unsuspecting players off guard if they're paying attention to the game. I wish if I see firmly placed where she is. Um, Next two characters is Luna and Juno. Now, I may get some slack because I played these characters, blah 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 blah. I also played Juno Asher, right? So fuck off. But I also played Juliet too. But these are the characters I play a lot. And the reason why I think that these characters are this low on the A tier spectrum is because, unlike, I've been upscaling these three characters a lot. right? Oops. Give me a second. I've been upscaling these three characters online: Juliet, Drakkar, and X, right? Just because of how much they don't have to put in game. Now, even though I downplayed that these abilities, um, Fluttershy and Rose Road, they're still really good if their dash abilities are on cooldown, right? That's when you can get away from them. Um, However, boost and broad bounce are not really good at getting away. Even though broad bounce makes you elusive, you have to use this before you get hit. And you cannot boost if somebody's in front of your face, because if you do, the boost would just hit them and it doesn't matter. You just now have a 16-second cooldown ability. But I will talk about Luna. The reason why Luna is over Gina is because Luna is a slightly better goalie, or she has nieces as a goalie more than Gina, and she also is a unique case of can simultaneously play the game really well while at the same time do not have to interact with the game. What do I mean by this? Whammy at the late stage of the game is 3 seconds. 3 seconds. You can just fire a rocket every 3 seconds. And if you're far away enough, it speeds up the heavy damage. It's a lot of damage. It's a lot of knockback that adds up over time. You can also use this ability from long range to hit the goal. To hit the puck into the goal after the goalie strikes it. Similar to how Kai or Estelle would. But she can do it from on the opposite side of the map. Same with boost, and this is where her niece as a goalie comes in. What goalie players would do is they will use boost, and again, there is a perk in this game. I don't have it. Let me look it up. There's a perk in this game that unlocks you the teleport eject button. After casting the movement ability, gain a short window to recast it, causing you to blink back to the cast position. This perk right here allows Juno to play goalie, boost to the other side of the map to try to hit the puck, and then immediately go back and still play goalie. I think that is how do I put it? It's not a good gimmick. I think it's not as good as people want it to be, because you see a lot of Luna goalies, but it is a gimmick nonetheless. And Craters is just if you play League of Legends, this is Ziggs. If you play Smite, this is Volcano. You just drop a giant bomb on the map, and if they're in the center of it, it kind of just kills people. It does so much damage and so much knockback that even if they're not cracked, it just kills. It might kill them if they're close enough to the edge. And if there are cracked, or if this ability cracks them, then it will just kill them. It does so much knockback. You can also use this as a goalie. On the top of the goalie, and if they're not paying attention, then again, you just kill them because it does so much knockback. And I think because of how explosive this character is on offense, it's the reason why I think you should play her in the neutral position, somewhere halfway towards the map, and then when you feel it's the need to get aggressive, you use boost, and then you just start hitting it with your teammate. Because she can't be as aggressive though, I think she's below Era and Estelle, but I do think that she carves out her own niche unlike any other character in the game. Which is why she's above Juno. Now, Juno, on the other hand, and I already put her on, so I'm not going to change back screens, but Juno is right under Luna. Why is that? Her blobs are really good at redirection. But two things. Give me a second. Unique creator or Dilberdanes. And your creations gain 100% more duration, which means they last longer. You need that perk, and you also need to just be very, very good. I think Juno should have like a 2-star difficulty because you really need to understand where your blobs need to go in order to play this character effectively. Um, another thing that makes this character really good is her ultimate. Um, but at the same time, it still falls under the main problem that her other two abilities have, which is this: if her if she uses her ability and the puck is not where her blobs are, then you just wasted your abilities. Like if you use Make It Rain, right, and you think you have a good ult off, and the puck just goes. Let's say you use Make It Rain on like the lower half because that's where the puck was, and then somebody shoots the puck up. You just wasted your ability. You no longer have an ability, right? Also, you have to play Juno with excuse me. You have to play Juno with reduced special ability cooldown as well, because as you can see, Juno has the highest cooldown, or not highest, the second highest cooldown of any ability, right? And this character's cooldown is a revive, so that's different. But just a ability, a 40-second cooldown ability that can also just not work half the time is pretty sad. Now, when it does work, Juno is good. Like Juno isn't bad, right? I just want to get this out of the way. I just think the other characters are better than her but she's not bad. And the reason why I don't think she's bad, right, is because unlike other characters, how have I described them goalless getting the score, right? They strike the puck, the goalie strikes back, and then they use an ability, or because they're so close, like Kai, right? Or they use an ability like Estelle, or they bully like Asher, right? They use their ability or strike the puck right past the goalie because his strike is still on cooldown, right? Now, Juno bypasses this, and this is why I think people think Juno is like so good, like a really good character, because Juno can bypass that ping pong because she can shoot it down, she can make a blob, and then she can shoot the puck towards the blob, and the blob would just shoot the puck in itself. Like, if you're threatening to score, obviously the goalie is going to be in front of your face. So you just shoot it down next to your blob, and the goalie won't be able to reset in time to stop it. And this is what makes Juno such a polarizing character. I don't think that niece is good enough to put her above like any other character. Maybe above Luna, but like it's still something worth pointing out. And like I think it's a good enough ability that is something Atlas just cannot deal with. Like I think Atlas just straight loses to in the goalie versus forward situation because Atlas doesn't have an ability like a wall to stop that from happening. And she also doesn't have movement speed like Dubu or Asher to react to it in time. So if Juno does that like ability, like play knocks the puck towards the blob, and then strike it in, there's nothing Atlas can do about that. And that's why I think Juno is where she is. That being said, I think that's all the characters I wanted. All the characters on this list that I wanted to talk about. Well, I talked about all of them, but final notes is this. Again, the tier list is very volatile. It could change tomorrow depending on what happens to the games I play. But one thing to note is I do think Drakkar might be S tier. I think I still might can bypass these characters and become S tier. One thing for certain though, Atlas is B tier. That is one thing that's not going to change. Like at all. This character's mid. Um, but yeah, that's just what I wanted to talk about. Thank you if you guys watched making this far. If you found this video on YouTube, make sure to follow my Twitter and my Twitch because I'm going to be playing a lot more Mega Strikers that I might be playing later today after this video goes up. Who knows? But yeah, thank you guys for watching. Take care of yourselves and have yourselves a damn good one.